Some people step into the spotlight to report the news. Others step in to reshape it. Emily Compagno has built a reputation as one of Fox News's most unapologetic and provocative voices. A woman whose background is as unexpected as her commentary. She is not simply a TV host who reads a teleprompter. She is a former criminal defense attorney, a legal analyst, and one-time NFL cheerleader who has transformed her public voice into a powerful conservative weapon. What makes Compagno stand out is not only what she says on air, but the attitude behind it. She speaks with the certainty of someone trained to argue a case rather than politely offer an opinion. For critics, she is confrontational. For supporters, she is refreshingly fearless. And whether viewers love her or oppose her, one thing is clear. Emily Compagno is not here to blend in. She is here to leave a mark. Before she sat beneath the bright Fox studio lights, Compagno was entrenched in real cases, dealing with real consequences. She worked directly with criminal defendants and victims, navigating the high-pressure world of courtroom defense. That experience trained her to think quickly, question aggressively, and communicate with precision. It's why her delivery on air does not resemble the light debate style of average hosts. She treats arguments like legal battles, demanding clarity, cutting interruptions, and challenging emotional narratives when they lack facts. But what surprises audiences even more is that her path to national media also crossed sports entertainment. As a cheerleader for the NFL's Oakland Raiders, she became a public personality long before emerging as a legal analyst. This blend of athletic showmanship and courtroom toughness created a persona that America now watches with fascination. It is a mix few expected, and even fewer know how to handle. But the same sharpness that built her career has repeatedly thrust her into controversy. One statement can ignite thousands of reactions, and Compagno has become a magnet for outrage and applause in equal measure. During the pandemic, she claimed that too many Americans were choosing government checks instead of seeking work. Her words spread instantly online, drawing anger from those who felt attacked for struggling through a crisis. Critics labeled her insensitive and privileged, yet supporters praised her for saying what others won't. She stood firm, arguing that dependency damages ambition and that honest debate should not be silenced because it is uncomfortable. This was not the first time her perspective clashed with the public mood, and it certainly wouldn't be the last. To her, controversy is not chaos. It's evidence that the conversation matters. Another wave of backlash arrived when Compagno criticized student loan forgiveness, insisting that debt relief rewarded irresponsibility and punished those who paid their dues. The reaction was explosive. Thousands accused her of ignoring systemic issues like tuition inflation, low wages, and predatory lending. Yet she countered with a pointed legal argument. Contracts must mean something, and government policies should not punish those who honor their obligations. This is where her legal mind reveals itself. She does not approach issues from emotion alone, but from a belief that rules exist for fairness, not convenience. Whether audiences agree or not, her arguments force viewers to consider principles, not just personal needs. And in a media landscape filled with quick sympathy and political storytelling, Compagno positions herself as a defender of accountability, even if it comes at a cost to her popularity. Still, the question lingers. Does defending accountability make someone a truth teller, or does it make them out of touch with the everyday struggles Americans face? Emily Compagno walks that fine line constantly. Her critics argue that her legal logic ignores emotional reality. They insist that life is more complicated than contracts and responsibility. They point to rising rents, student debt traps, and wages that fail to keep pace with inflation. But Compagno's supporters see her stance as a necessary wake-up call. In their eyes, she challenges a culture that demands benefits without sacrifice and comfort without cost. She becomes a voice for those who feel the system should reward effort, not excuses. This tension between empathy and accountability has turned her into one of the most debated figures on cable television. And whether the audience disagrees or applauds, They tune in, waiting for the next bold claim. Yet Compagno's influence does not come from controversy alone. She has a unique talent for transforming legal complexities into relatable language. When she explains a Supreme Court ruling or a federal policy, she breaks it down, not like a politician promoting an agenda, but like a lawyer clarifying evidence. She often cites historical precedent, constitutional principles, and real-world implications in ways viewers can understand. This strength has earned her respect, even among ideological opponents who disagree with her conclusions but recognize her intellectual command. It's a rare combination in modern media, where opinion often overshadows expertise. By grounding her arguments in legal structure, she elevates debates beyond emotional slogans. But with that power comes responsibility, and her words carry consequences. When she simplifies the law, she also shapes public opinion, and shaping opinion, especially on polarizing issues, is never neutral. Now, as her presence grows on Fox News, so does her cultural impact. Clips of her commentary circulate across social media, sometimes celebrated, sometimes ridiculed, but always shared widely. The digital world thrives on strong personalities, and Compagno fits perfectly into that landscape. She is not a neutral mediator. She is a challenger, a fighter, and a strategist in ideological combat. Whether discussing immigration, economic policy, or criminal justice, she positions herself as someone unwilling to soften her stance for broader approval. In a time when audiences seek either validation or a strong opponent to push against, Compagno becomes both. She gives conservatives a confident voice and progressives a fiery figure to challenge. The result is exposure, influence, and a loyal, polarized fan base that keeps her at the center of national discourse. But behind the intensity is a deeper question. How much should media hosts shape public belief? When Compagno takes a hard position, she is not merely expressing personal opinion. She is influencing millions who trust her legal background and perceive her authority as expertise. This responsibility positions her as more than a commentator. She becomes a cultural force, guiding how audiences interpret policy and justice. Critics warn that strong opinions delivered with legal credibility can blur the line between analysis and advocacy. Supporters argue that passion is necessary to challenge weak norms and complacent politics. And so, every statement she makes carries both risk and opportunity. The risk of dividing the public further, and the opportunity to spark uncomfortable but necessary national conversation. In the end, Emily Compagno represents a growing shift in American media, where broadcasters are not neutral narrators, but participants, warriors, and shapers of opinion. Her journey, from courtroom to cheerleading stage to conservative media spotlight, proves that influence comes from personality as much as profession. She is a symbol of a louder, sharper news era, where facts and feelings collide, and debate is defined by boldness rather than diplomacy. Love her or oppose her, Emily Compagno refuses to step back or soften her voice. And as long as America remains divided, her role will remain relevant, because voices like hers thrive not in unity, but in conflict. And if public discourse is a battlefield, then Emily Compagno has made it clear. She didn't come to observe. She came to lead the fight.